But you were battling Jimmy Carew and his clients, the motion picture theater owners, right, here in Michigan, who wanted to end this practice.
Yeah, right. And it was an unfair fight because we had local theaters versus Hollywood. Local theater owners in the state legislator's hometown. But we were successful, and it hasn't been passed, to my knowledge, in the state of Michigan.
Good. Let me ask you about another famous, colorful character, flashing back a little bit, but he was still, I think, a judge at the time we're talking about now, and that was T. John Lesinski.
Oh, T. John.
T. John Lesinski, who was lieutenant governor of Michigan for 4 years in the early 60s and then became chief judge of the Court of Appeals. What can you tell me about T. John Lesinski? Did you know him?
Not well. I just knew that he was one of those larger-than-life characters. He was actually a movie character, a caricature of a big city boss politician. First time I encountered him, he is presiding over the Senate. It's 1963, February, March. I come across, ask him to come out because the fair school bus law was on the calendar and I needed a clarification. And so I said, I didn't call him T. John, Lieutenant Governor Lesinski, can you tell me about this bill? Well, Senator Vanderlaan has sponsored it.
And he was a Republican from Grand Rapids.
Future Senate Majority Leader from Grand Rapids. So he thought the bill was going to be a Republican effort. And he said to me, let me tell you, son, he said, don't you trust those Republicans. They will blank you every time. I said, okay. And then another time I have a slight memory of him, I think being stopped in the governor's limo. Romney was out of the state and T. John was governor, and he borrowed the limo to go to Detroit. He was stopped at a stop street and a guy came by, a pedestrian, looked in, and T. John was smoking a cigar, and he said, Al Capone should have a really big cigar, and took off. But he was a colorful guy, but he highly respected as the chief.
He had a very keen mind.
Ran a very tight Court of Appeals.
Right. And that was in the days before the present Constitution, when your lieutenant governor could actually be of a different party than the governor. And so when Romney, a teetotaling, non-smoking Mormon, would leave the state, T. John would get in the limo as the acting governor and go around with his huge stogie, right?
Yeah,
everywhere.
And Romney never stayed very long.
Well, in conclusion, you and Emil built up a very successful firm, although I don't think Emil was as enthusiastic about lobbying as you were, and he left after a few years.
He left in '77, after 6 years.
Right.
Got involved in business down there, but he was on my board, on our board at PAA, and extremely valuable. I stayed on until 1993, and in which we sold it to Tom Hoisington and the other partners. And Tom, by the way, has just done a marvelous job building the firm.
Well, I can't believe you have been retired for 15 years.
Yeah, I can't either.
I don't think you have been retired. You've been doing some other things.
Okay.
I know you spent a lot of time out of state, but look, Jerry Coomes, I want to thank you so much for appearing before the Michigan Political History Society. You are a treasure trove of anecdotes and war stories that will stand the test of time.
And I'd like to thank, in closing, Jim Blanchard for his generosity, and David Murley for his leadership here in the Michigan Political History Society for this project. It's going to be a great boon to present and future historians. Thank you, Bill, too. Wonderful.